.com and our 24/7 streaming channels. Chris Christie up in Air 7 as we follow this pursuit up PCH, California Highway Patrol, on the tail of this Chrysler, a silver Chrysler, with several people on board, including a couple of kids, as far as we could tell. You can see the sheriff's helicopter keeping a close eye overhead, as well as they have tracked this suspect from East LA in the Baldwin Park area through the city, all the way across town into West LA, through Santa Monica, and eventually onto the northbound side of PCH. As he refuses to pull over, they are treating this with kid glove care, as they are aware of those two children inside of the vehicle, and again, kidnapping is believed to be one of the charges, the alleged charges here in this case. So unclear whether this is a domestic situation or if these two kids were perhaps kidnapped off the street. We don't know those details at this point, but you can see it's relatively slow as we creep up past Temescal Canyon. We are in the Pacific Palisades. The driver weaving around traffic and refusing to pull over, although not driving at extreme speeds, only doing about 35, 40 miles per hour, which is relatively slow through this area, getting closer to Malibu here as we continue northbound on PCH. The sun is going down here along the coast. There are helicopters overhead. There are several black and whites right behind this suspect. If we widen out, we can give you an idea of the resources dedicated to this pursuit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 patrol cars, and again, with the assistance of that LA County Sheriff's airship, who is calling out the position of this chase. Again, not a lot of traffic on this holiday weekend here along PCH. Traffic is relatively light here as he goes through the red light. They're making their way through that red light with him here. But again, they are aware of those children, and for that reason, they have denied the request for a pit maneuver. They will not pit this vehicle and put those children in harm's way. So he's got some advantages here because of the charges involved. We don't know how much gas is in the tank, obviously, but we can see that it is difficult to see inside the vehicle to get any more intel. Those windows are pretty heavily tinted here as he continues northbound PCH. Continuing northbound PCH, California Highway Patrol, following at a safe distance here. Again, relatively manageable speed, especially for this part of town. You can see he's continuing straight up the coast here, refusing to pull over. Again, we do not know how many adults are in the vehicle, only that there are at least a couple of kids. We do not have an age of those children. Again, a lot of details still to be worked out here, but a complicated situation due to the fact that there are children involved in this pursuit. East LA Sheriff started this pursuit, California Highway Patrol taking it over, and the Sheriff's helicopter again following this straight across town from Baldwin Park all the way out here, now making their way closer to Malibu. Coming up on Topanga Canyon here, now picking up a little bit of speed, going around traffic here, and going through a bunch of these red lights. So not obeying the rules of the road, but not driving extremely fast either. Very little braking that we're seeing here. So they are taking all of that into account, and they are going to try and probably, at some point, I would imagine, try and create a traffic break along PCH to prevent any other interference. You can see traffic is actually light in both directions, north and southbound. So he's got the entire highway to play with here. 2 lanes up the coast here, northbound on PCH at about 50 miles per hour. And again, heavily tinted windows here, so making it difficult. But we're trying to get some more information in terms of who else may be inside the vehicle, whether there's any communication going on, and any other intel that they may be working with here. Can you push in on that primary unit, Rob? I just want to see and double. Copy that. So a correction here. This did not start in Baldwin Park. Actually, it started in East LA. So the East LA County Sheriff's Department initiating this pursuit. Again, handing it off to California Highway Patrol along the 10 freeway. Took the 10 freeway straight across the entire city. And now you have California Highway Patrol, the primary agency here involved, and LA County Sheriff, again, following from above, as you can occasionally see the helicopter flying through the shot here. Again, he's going around traffic at manageable speeds here, but he has continued repeatedly blowing through red lights here. We should also say we don't know for a fact that it's a male, unknown the gender of the driver, but you can see very difficult to tell. In fact, at some point, Maury, maybe we can get in front of it. I know we have a lot of air traffic up here, but would love to take a peek through the front windshield at some point, if it's possible. But he's continuing northbound at about 50 miles per hour, passing Big Rock Drive here in Malibu. Again, it almost appears as though they have successfully prevented, they have basically, for all intents and purposes, created a traffic break behind him. So you won't see traffic coming up from behind him. It'll be curious to see if maybe they can also do the same thing ahead of him to keep innocent motorists out of harm's way here. But again, he is on the northbound side. Traffic, again, almost non-existent in both directions here. Copy that. Are they swapping out? Is there another one? Very good. Going to get our first glimpse here in just a second through the front windshield, and we'll hopefully get a better idea of the demeanor and description of the driver behind the wheel here. You can see those hands on the steering wheel. And it does sound like this is going to fall on those CHP units to maintain a visual of this suspect, because the LA County Sheriff's helicopter is about to make their way back to the sheriff's station for fuel. So the helicopter overhead is running out of gas. They're going to refuel, and again, it's going to be up to these half dozen or so California Highway Patrol units to keep the suspect within arm's reach here. So they're not going to give this up. They've shown every indication that they are dedicated to this pursuit. Again, a kidnapping suspect. Unclear whether there are any other charges or what other charges are involved here. If you look closely enough, you can see it appears to be a little boy in the passenger seat of the vehicle. Looks like a little boy in the passenger seat, coming up on a little bit of congestion as he makes his way further north here. We are now looking southbound, using the median to get around some of that traffic there. He's got the green light. He's going to continue through here as they continue this pursuit at a safe distance. But again, we're getting our first glimpse through the front windshield. Apologize for the exhaust there. We'll kind of crab along here and try and hold it steady, but you can see it does look like a male driver. I think that was that a male male driver and a little boy in the passenger seat coming around this cliff here. You broke up one more time. Copy that. Copy. So we're just getting some word in from our assignment desk that there's apparently a parent on the phone with law enforcement. Those two children were inside of the vehicle at the time that this vehicle was stolen. So this is a stolen vehicle, potentially carjacked from a parent with two children inside of the vehicle. The parent is telling law enforcement that there's about a half a tank of gas inside of this silver Chrysler, again, continuing to blow through these red lights here with at least a couple of children who you can only imagine must be scared to death. This is a stranger that is driving this vehicle. There are two children inside of this stolen vehicle, and this is a pursuit that will not end until California Highway Patrol can safely stop this vehicle and apprehend that suspect. There is almost no other way that this pursuit can end, and hopefully if the driving remains as safe and slow as it is, nobody will get hurt here. Hopefully they can reach that suspect and negotiate with that driver. But again, disturbing details now as we get word that this is a stolen vehicle with two children in the vehicle at the time this vehicle was stolen. So that really complicates things, and it really just amplifies the care that they are taking with this vehicle. You can only imagine that they are trying to learn whatever they can about that suspect, if at all possible. I'm sure they are working with more details surrounding the circumstances by which this vehicle was stolen. But it is distressing, to say the least, to learn that information. And as you see this pursuit continue up the Pacific Coast Highway, it's all starting to make a lot more sense. California Highway Patrol using extra caution here. And thankfully, we can see that the driver is driving relatively safely, despite the fact that he has blown through a number of red lights. So hopefully that continues. Hopefully this is somebody that they can reason with, but it will not end until they apprehend the suspect and rescue those children. That is almost a sure thing at this point. There are a number of reasons, a number of factors that the watch commanders and supervisors take into consideration when they continue these pursuits, when to be more aggressive, when to use various tactics, and sometimes when to give up the pursuit altogether. We will not see them give this pursuit up with two innocent children inside of that car. You can take that one to the bank, and we'll continue to follow this as long as it takes, because obviously the circumstances here are just so just hard to imagine for the parent and, of course, the children inside the vehicle. But again, he's continuing up PCH here, crossing Webb Way at another red light here. There was, right past Malibu Colony here, there was talk earlier of a spike strip being prepared at the, as he kind of made his way towards Santa Monica, exiting off the 10 freeway. Perhaps we may see another spike strip attempt somewhere along PCH. It would not be surprising at all. The conditions appear optimal if they could set up ahead of the suspect and potentially deflate those tires and safely bring this to a slow crawl. So we'll see if that's in the cards here. But what I can tell you is that any talk of a pit maneuver has been tabled for now, considering the dangerous nature of that tactic. And obviously, with children on board, they likely will not pit that vehicle. Yeah. I'm actually, we're scanning again here, trying to zero in, because it does look like I believe they've switched from the pink. Perhaps the teal, yeah. Continuing through another red light, northbound PCH. Scanner 1, and it does sound like there is talk of... All right, just past John Tyler Drive here, there is some talk now of a possible spike strip attempt. in the making here, perhaps a little further north along PCH. Something we're going to watch out for. We were just discussing that, and sure enough, it does sound like that might be the next tactic here to try and impede the suspect here. So if they could do that safely, that would be great. It'd be great to see them lay down a nice spike strip and poke those tires. But right now, that Chrysler is fully mobile and fully capable as it continues with about a half tank of gas. Again, this started in East LA, but probably still working with around a half a tank, I'd say, maybe a little less, obviously, at this point. That's the information that law enforcement is working with. So if nothing else, it'll eventually run out of gas. They could take this all the way up PCH if they need to. Unfortunately, darkness is going to start falling here in the next 20 minutes, but they have the resources in place. It is it's on a safe highway here. You know, this is much better than chasing this guy through surface streets or a congested freeway. You're on PCH with very limited opportunity for him to turn off here and get lost. So I don't see them having a real problem maintaining a visual here, especially at these speeds. This should be a very simple wait and see game for them. They have time on their side. Right now, the airship that was assisting has pulled off for fuel. I imagine there is at least another airship probably on the way, or perhaps that airship will be heading back here with a full tank here as it gets dark. But California Highway Patrol, with at least a half a dozen units, making their way up PCH through Malibu here, and I imagine there will be additional CHP resources preparing to take over this pursuit as he gets up into the Ventura County area. That's going to be next here as we make our way up Malibu. Copy that. Coming up on Latigo Canyon Road as they continue northbound PCH, California Highway Patrol behind the suspect. It does sound like they may be getting some help from the LA County Sheriff's Department here by way of a spike strip setup a little further north here. We're going to try and keep an eye out for that as he continues up the coastline here. There are vehicles, or there's at least one vehicle. Oh, he just hit it. He just hit it. He just hit it. Let's see if that was successful. That was, I believe, a sheriff's SUV. Talking about California Highway Patrol chasing the suspect. LA County Sheriff now laying down a nice spike, and he is picking up speed after running over that spike strip. It's unclear whether the tire struck the spike strip, but we will see if this vehicle behaves any differently, aside from the fact that he is now doubling his speed here as he makes his way northbound PCH and now braking for some reason. Well, you can imagine the reason now. He is much more agitated, and the vehicle appears to be behaving nominally thus far, but they did lay down a spike. He appeared to drive right over it, and we'll see if those tires start to wobble at all as they lose air. Hopefully, if he struck either side if he struck the spike strip with either side of the vehicle, hopefully we'll see some of that rubber start to deflate there. So he's continuing northbound past Paradise Cove at a high rate of speed now, and they are, how far back are they now? They were really close on his tail. They are still pretty close, but he is picking up steam here, and unfortunately, well, it's unfortunate because he was traveling much slower. Again, we just want to see this end as safely as possible. Hopefully they could bring this to a peaceful resolution. But right now, that driver is now agitated, and he is definitely stepping on the gas pedal as he tries to evade these law enforcement officers. LA County Sheriff with the knife. I'm sorry? Winding way. Copy that. Copy that. Copy that. All right. Oh no! Right into cross traffic, and the driver loses control right into the hillside there at a major intersection. That's going to be Canaan Doom Road, and the driver is now jumping out of the vehicle. There's two kids inside that vehicle. Okay. He's running. He's on the run. They're going to chase him up this embankment here. There are children inside that vehicle. We'll go back in just a second. Right now, we're going to stick with the driver. California Highway Patrol chasing the suspect up the embankment as he runs for his life here up the hillside on the west side into an apartment complex right along PCH at Canaan Doom Road. A major crash there with cross traffic right along PCH at Canaan Doom. The driver still running, barefoot, taking off a sweater and continuing to run through this apartment complex towards the beach. Oh, this is terrible. This is just terrible. He's continuing this foot pursuit here at Point Doom, through a field in Point Doom. He's running through an open field here. We'll see if that officer was able to make his way up that embankment with him here. It was a pretty steep embankment, and he is now going to start running out. Look at, he's really, that's got to be really uncomfortable, barefoot, running through this field. He's still running. Can't see anybody behind him. Anybody behind him, Rob? Anybody at all? I don't lose him. I don't see anybody behind him. I don't see anybody behind him yet. He's running through the trees. At some point, I want to get an address here at the end of this neighborhood. We'll try and get the street. He's running through the vegetation behind some private property, some steep terrain here in Point Doom, and he is navigating it pretty well considering he's barefoot here. He is slowing down a little bit. There is private property not far from his position here, but he's in an open field off of Port Shed Road, right off of Canaan Doom, right off of PCH. You saw him jump out of the vehicle after a violent crash. At some point, we will get a condition on those kids, and we will get a shot of that vehicle. But right now, we are one of the only people with a view of this suspect. Law enforcement is at a real disadvantage here. They're trying to get into position. The airship had to pull off for fuel. Those ground officers, those officers on the ground, I should say, did not make their way up that embankment as successfully as he did. And now he is trying to climb through barbed wire to try and hide out. He's run through a field off of Port Shed Road, now walking through private property here in Point Doom, trying to hide in the vegetation. There's a lot of thick vegetation here as he tries to blend in. To climb through barbed wire to try and hide out. He's run through a field off of Port Shed Road.
From a career criminal in Illinois who wouldn't go down without a fight, and a purple Charger in Arkansas that almost outran the police, to an Ohio woman who turned the road into her personal demolition derby, and so much more. Felony bail jumping, OUI, receiving stolen property, and retail theft. From this chase alone, John racked up over 40 new charges, including 36 counts of felony bail jumping. All told, he's looking at over 270 years in prison if convicted on all counts.
46 primary.
Yeah, 25, they're like, I'll be you primary.
It was July 4th of 2025. John Robert Stevenson took the phrase Independence Day a little too seriously. He was out driving his purple Dodge Charger when he blasted by ASP Trooper Bob Love at over 90 miles per hour. It turns out Mr. Stevenson was a half-decent driver. He left Trooper Love in the dust and then successfully outran Trooper Daniel Parker. Then, about 30 minutes after initial contact, Trooper James Booth resumed the chase after spotting the purple Charger speeding down a service lane southwest of Little Rock. Let's see how many cops Mr. Stevenson shakes this time.
46 primary.
And 25, they're like, I'll be you primary.
Got a gap on it. He's cutting in and out. Other people are primary. 46. I'm not sure if it's primary or secondary, but I'm third. I'm westbound the service road, speed over 100.
He's back on the interstate.
Back on the interstate.
Whoever's primary, keep them updated. Left lane going to the 124 westbound.
10-4.
88 primary.
10-488. 25, you're still on the interstate.
10-4. I'm getting on the third road now. Still on the third road, 30 westbound.
We are passing into PDASP with Benton.
10-4.
Red out. Big over there.
10-4 with 20.
Despite his driving skills, Mr. Stevenson couldn't escape the Arkansas State Police. Few ever do. He was arrested and charged with a long list of crimes, including felony fleeing, battery, criminal mischief, and driving over 160 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone.
By the airport, make sure they're holding all air traffic.
From a high-speed pursuit through Atlanta that looked like a scene from a movie, and a wanted man in Arkansas who did a burnout as he fled a traffic stop, to a street racer in a white Scat Pack that led police
Single 12 whiskey, single 12 whiskey. Single 12 whiskey. Hit. Signal, we're going back, we're back westbound. Back eastbound.
Police almost had him, but the suspect managed to peel away and gain ground in the other lane. His confidence must have been through the roof, because he's about to try another risky move that ultimately gets him and his buddy arrested. Police identified the driver as 28-year-old Brandon Corey Johnson. His passenger, 31-year-old William Xavier Glover, was also taken into custody. Police couldn't believe their eyes when they found two minor children in the back seat, ages 10 and 15. Had the Challenger's windows not been so tinted, they would have seen the kids in the car and thought twice about using a pit maneuver. Instead, Brandon and William decided to risk their lives to save their own. Thankfully, the kids were all right and turned over to protective services. Inside the car, police found cocaine, marijuana, a digital scale, a half-empty bottle of tequila, and a loaded Glock with an extended 30-round magazine. All told, Brandon and William were in a boatload of trouble. They were charged with several felony crimes, including fleeing, possession, and child endangerment.
Holy shit. Yes.
Of all the reasons to get pulled over, window tint is among the dumbest. You can't drive around with blacked out windows and expect to fly under the radar, especially in Georgia, where tint laws are strict and heavily enforced. On June 21st of 2024, a driver in Clayton County, Georgia, thought he was above the law. The front windshield of his Dodge Challenger SRT was jet black, and the side windows were heavily tinted. Our officer tried pulling him over, but he should have known this driver didn't plan on sticking around.
Black Dodge Challenger. Coming up to Forest Parkway. Speeds are 126. Traffic is light still. past CW Grant.
The suspect eventually left the highway and took the chase into downtown Atlanta. He believed he could shake the cops on the tight and populated streets. He also figured they'd call off the chase as things got more dangerous. But this is Clayton County. If you run from the cops, you're going to get caught by the cops. Our deputy got back on his tail and never lost sight again.
Edgewood Ave. Making a right. Making a right on Boulevard Street. Gonna be going. Going back to Memorial Drive from Boulevard. He's just 41 at that intersection. He's losing control. Stand by.
Stay here, Ellie. Holy shit. Yes. Get her. Holy crap. Stay there, Ellie.
The K-9 unit took a solid bite out of crime and helped bring this maniac down. After running his ID, police learned that the driver, Jay Shaw, had prior felony convictions for theft in April of 2020. At the hospital, Shaw incriminated himself in other Georgia police chases. He claimed to have escaped several Metro Atlanta agencies and was surprised that Clayco deputies kept chasing him. In his own words, "I ain't know y'all chased like that, especially into the city." Doctors treated Shaw's dog bites, and police escorted him to Clayco County Jail. He was charged with felony fleeing, reckless driving, and possession of a weapon after police found a stolen gun in his car. From a truck thief in Georgia who got himself arrested at the pump, and a hit and run in South Carolina that left this officer in the dust, to a Michigan narcotics dealer who tried to run
Eastbound at the 17, it's going to be a gray Toyota Tundra. Virginia 1028 Zulu Romeo Yankee 4083 ZRY 4083. It's taking off on me. Hey, from 10-0.
295 for all units, almost on 10-0.
What's your original violation then?
1057 vehicle, 101, 18, taking the exit 18 on the 85 northbound off-road, going back onto I-26.
Okay, what's your speeds in traffic?
light. He's stuck. Just 250 in my car. Get out the car! Stop the car! You're not likely to stop. Wrong way on 26.
Receipt for Jamaica is traffic.
Negative.
Okay, going the wrong way on 26.
Going back southbound on.
Our officer follows the Tundra up the highway and watches as it takes a quick exit. The driver takes things off-road again and becomes the most indecisive suspect of all time.
Southbound. Wrong way on. He's going wrong way. I can pay him.
How about you, Ron? Regular out?
If you can safely fit them, do that. What's your speed in traffic?
Going 47. We just got back on the exit 68. I'm trying to pit.
The chase continues for several miles until the suspect leaves the highway and heads down these rural South Carolina back roads. The close quarters chase allows our officer to catch up and attempt a pit maneuver.
What's your speed?
1050, 1050, 1050. He's taking off again.
Everybody on foot?
1010, taking a right onto Leopard Road. I believe my vehicle is disabled.
This is County Bravo 25. Can you give me the vehicle description?
Gray Toyota Tundra.
What's your current 1020 speed?
Taking a right on North Blackstock. He's going behind Bonnie Plants.
Speed and traffic location.
Turn left on the John Martin Road. I gotta catch up. He took out a